Okay.
Strategic Planning Committee meeting for April 11, 2019. Call to order. All members are here except Mr. Randy Cluott. And if you don't mind standing for the invocation, Mr. Cagalani.
Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on this meeting. Please direct and guide us so that we may do the will of the people. Help us to make the right decisions according to strategic planning for Ascension Parish. We ask that you bless and watch over the military who protect our freedom every day. Those who are abroad, bring them back home safe. We ask your, again, care and loving arms to be wrapped around those who provide public safety, to all the people in Ascension Parish, and bless all the people of Ascension Parish as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item number 3 is any chair addition. We don't have any chair addition. Item number 4 is public comment period. If you want to speak on the items on the agenda, green card, you're in favor of it. Red card, I'm sorry. Public comment period, if you want to speak on any of the items. Green card if you're in favor of it. Red card if you're against it. And we're moving on to item number 5, the approval of the minutes for March 14, 2019. Motion?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right. Got a motion and got a second. No objection. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Item number 6, we're going to pass on it. The young lady who was supposed to be here could not be here, so we're going to move on item number 6. So we're going to move to item number 7, and it's the discussion of modification of Chapter 4, Section 4-27, alcohol beverages. This was brought to my attention through Councilman Lawless, and Councilman Lawless is out there, and he have a couple of people to speak on this. So, Mr. Lawless, please.
Councilman Lawler, but that's okay.
Well, you know, I'm Alvin all the time.
No, I understand.
He's lawless, Mr. Chairman.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce Mr. Kelly Feet, who is the owner and operator of the Jeté Dance Company. I'll allow him to make a presentation in my stead.
Okay.
Council, do you mind if I have
Yeah.
one presenters come in first and I
Well, you can make the presentation, and then they can comment, and then I'll let you make your own personal comments on your presentation. That's fine?
That's fine, whatever.
All right.
I want to run it. I have some people who weren't able to make it, so they have letters that they wrote to the APC guys.
Okay. So you want to accept that for the minutes?
Okay, we're ready?
You got the speaker, and you have that, I think you have her.
Presenter? Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, point of order, is that something that's not in our packets that you just received?
Yes.
Could we see that information?
Sure.
Thank you. These the same copies?
Just one copy. He don't have another copy, Doc. It's just individual.
Okay, I'll look at it quickly. while he's talking.
Yeah.
We would like to respectfully request that you apply current alcohol permit laws and ordinances to all locations where children congregate to further their education in arts, sports, and other extracurricular activities. In my 29 years as law enforcement, I've learned a few things about how criminals operate. One of them is they do their research. They look for baited fields, easy targets, and find the liquid courage to get there to do the crimes that they want to do. when I enforce the law on the roads, if I found that I had to scratch my head to figure out why something happened or how something happened, there was usually drugs or alcohol involved. As I went through all the parish ordinances that you have set for Ascension Parish, I noticed several things that really stood out to me. And as you can see in the presentation, Ascension is very aware of the serious problems that alcohol presents. We can eliminate a lot of those problems at no cost to the parish by simply keeping alcohol away from the kids. This is a very unique situation that we're coming to you with, because this liquor store that would like to move in next to the dance studio is located in a position to where it traps the dancers in, or it kind of provides a baited field for people who would like to attack them. As you look at the picture, you can see our property is basically on a football field. The right side of the field, as you're looking at it from Airline Highway, is fenced in with congested trees and a fence line. On the left side of it, you can see the drainage ditch. It's about 30 or 40 feet or so wide. The purple line on that on the diagram indicates our property lines. When we bought the property, the lot was rezoned to give us access to our lot towards the back, which is located right in the middle of the property. So this particular property is divided into 3 lots. Of course, the one facing Airline, the middle property, and the property facing Old Jefferson. And again, as you can see, the purple line, that indicates the right-of-way that our dancers have to use to get to and from the dance building. This is a view from Airline Highway, just to give you an idea of what you're looking at when you're turning into our property. Here's another view from above to show the congestion. And if you look at the businesses that are around it, this area is already saturated with enough places that provide alcohol. To include, right across the ditch, there's the vaping craze, there's Ricochet Billiards, Gamers Paradise. To the south of us, we have the Fat Cat Lounge, Club Madrid, Spanky's, and the Smokies, the liquor store. To the north of us, of course, there's the Royal Motel. If you're not familiar with that place, it's pretty shady, it's to say the least. And of course, the daiquiri shop just above that. And across the street from us, we have the pawn shop, we have the tattoo parlor. I'm not sure if the gold shop is still there or not, but I think the place is already congested to not need another liquor store anywhere around there. I also highlighted quite a few current laws and ordinances that are already in place to protect places like this. Starting off at 26281, which is from the Louisiana Revised Statute that limits the locations. This one tells you there's a reason that you can't have alcohol near schools, libraries, daycare centers, and those types of things. And it's not to protect the books or the playground equipment. It's to protect the children for where they go after school. When this law was created, we didn't have the same situation we do today. When you look around and think about the Recreation Committee that just finished, at how much activity goes on after school that's not at parks. Nowadays, you have to you have to make that extra effort to be prepared to play in high school sports or to go to dance after you graduate or whatever you decide to do. Another law is 17405. That also protects us under the extracurricular activities. Our dance studio provides dance classes and dance camps to the local schools in the area. We're in a good location where we have students coming in from several schools in Ascension. They include EA and Ascension Catholic and places like that. And we also have children coming in from Baton Rouge, from Woodlawn, St. George, from different places like that. And we work with each of those schools to provide a place for those girls to train. It's hard to get on those agendas to get into the gyms when you have an active school that's so high on sports. You can't get in there, so you have to find an alternate site to go in and practice that dance or to get ready for the competitions or whatever you're trying to do. And we're used as that by several schools. And one of the letters that you have is from the principal at St. George along with the priest. And the other letter is recognition from your superintendent here in Ascension Parish, who recognized that we have been supporting the schools throughout the years. And it's not just a one-time thing. So in addition to the laws that protect alcohol permits from being given to places next to places where the kids congregate after school, you also have your zoning codes that limit incompatible businesses from being located next to each other. I can't, for the life of me, imagine a more incompatible business than an alcohol providing store, 9,100 square foot liquor store with an on-premises consumption license to be placed in a baited field right next to a dance studio that's full of girls. In an attempt to avoid those, Ascension also has buffer zones, which there's no way to put a buffer zone on this property. It just can't happen. We have to go back and look at the intent of all these laws. What was the intent, as I said earlier? Was the intent to protect the books and slides? No, the intent was to protect the kids. And that's the health and safety of our public. As you look through the codes, you also see commentaries from the parish councilmen who came up with these codes. And the codes would just simply reinforce the thought of what the intent was. And of course, a big part of it is not only to protect the kids, but also to protect the existing businesses that are already there, and to make sure we have a bright future for everyone, not just people coming in. The parish codes also give the council, you guys, the right to make that decision and to make things right when something is overlooked. And once again, to separate incompatible, you have that specific ordinance to separate incompatible businesses. And we have a presenter who will talk about some of the businesses that tried to make it, but they couldn't, because not only are dance studios not compatible with liquor stores, but there's several other businesses that can't be placed next to them that would just not survive. All right, and another section, 17-130, recognize the severe impact that alcohol has on our community. So we can avoid all that by simply not letting this happen. Once again, in section 15, division 15 of the parish codes, again, it recognizes the safety problems involved with alcohol. This is so much of a problem that Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATC Board of Louisiana, has started an initiative to educate delivery drivers on what to look for when they go to deliver alcohol to different establishments, whether it's a bar or a restaurant or liquor store. They're teaching these guys the indicators that show the things that would lead to trafficking. I'm not saying that this place would be a trafficking place, but why take that chance when we don't have to? State police investigated 65 child abduction cases last year. Several of those cases were found just by traffic stop and looked in the back seat and saw kids shaking. We don't need that. Not only is Louisiana taking those steps, but so are Ohio, Texas, and several other places. They're all following the same initiative of training delivery drivers to look for locks on doors and little things that you wouldn't think of as a normal civilian. But as a law enforcement officer, you do think about those things because you want to avoid what's preventable. Along with that, there were several case laws that support what a school is and what type of kids need to be protected. One of them is right here in Lafayette. When they were taking on South End Corporation, if I'm not mistaken, I think South End Corporation is basically the Circle K, and they were trying to move in next to a school, next to a church school. And at the time, they didn't recognize it as a school. But then, according to this case, they do now, because it's where kids congregate to get a further education. Detroit, same thing. They want to protect those kids in tender years, attending institutions of education. Supreme Court of Michigan, another place. Not only did they recognize that children need protected, they stated a dance school is recognized as a school of art or an institution of learning. So a school is a lot more than just books, brick and mortar. New York Court of Appeals states, let's remove the masses of our school-age going children and youth as far as possible from the influence of liquor traffic. And you have similar statements throughout several of the parish ordinances that I went through earlier. These cases go on and on. When I sent you the other document, it lists. I had to stop because there were so many cases that recognized it. And their basic statement, once you read all those cases, is they had one thing in common, and that is a school is a place where kids go to learn, and we have to protect our school-age children at all costs. Our occupational permit shows that we are a school. Not only are we a school, we far exceed the limitations that are set that claims that we may not be one. The occupational permit, you have a copy of it, and it shows we're a school for extracurricular activities. Not only that, but we do summer camps and all kinds of other stuff that's going to be explained in just a little bit. So in summary, just as I said earlier, alcohol permits are not made to protect things. They're made to protect our kids. And I think we need to ask ourselves a question. Would you feel comfortable, would you feel safe sending your child or grandchild to the studio behind the liquor store? If you can honestly answer that question, I think you'll know the answer to what has to be done tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So you can call up the speakers.
Shannon Feet.
Hi, thank you. My name is Shannon Feet. Kelly and I are the 17-year owners of Chate Dance Company. I manage and run as sole director of the studio. We are the property owners and have been the property owners in Ascension Parish for the 17 years that we've been in business. We come to you this evening respectfully asking to be protected by the already existing laws that protect primary and secondary schools. And we ask that our dance school be given that protection in this unique situation of having our students put in a baited field with a one-way in and a one-way out driveway that we will share with the business who will provide alcohol and consumption of alcohol and the smoking of cigars while on premises. As the owners, when we first built our studio, we were the only ones in our area. Since then, in those 17 years, several shopping centers have been built, grocery stores, a Walmart, several bars, tattoo parlors, and other adult businesses, none of which had any greater impact than the building trying to come in front of us. Since the building has been vacated, we've had less vandalism, we've had less foot traffic, and you can imagine the safety concerns that come with that. So a business that provides the sole purpose of buying and selling alcohol, you can imagine our concern for these children. We contacted the buyer's attorneys before they even bought their property and their building, stating that our occupational license given to us does list us as a school, and we reserve the right to be protected. They ignored this and bought this property anyway. Our students and their families have a safe and secure place to study dance at our facility. They attend multiple hours and days throughout each week, all year round, as we will explain momentarily. Recognized by Ascension Parish as a school stated on our occupational license, we are respectfully hoping that you will apply the same protective laws for our School of Dance so that we may continue to provide a safe environment to our 500 students. I repeat this number, 500 students. Larger than some of our primary and middle schools that are already protected. We in Ascension Parish take pride in providing a safe environment to our youth. Please also keep in mind our laws protecting schools are here to protect our children. And as my husband Kelly said, they're not protecting the books, they're protecting the children. We have asked a few parents to speak on our behalf of our student body. As you can imagine, reaching out to 500 dancers, that means 1,000 parents would be here tonight, 4,000 grandparents. Do I need to stop?
We
Keep
gotta
going.
wind
Okay.
it up.
We would be here all night. There is no one we want to protect more as parents than our children. How would a parent explain to their 4-year-old that they need to come to a meeting to ask to be protected? Or a parent of a new driver, a 16-year-old child, to tell them that they can't drive to their second home? We have a very strong parental front, and we're asking for them to help us protect their children. We respectfully ask that due diligence be given to our circumstance for speaking on behalf of our students, for it is all of our jobs to protect them, and the totality of circumstances great. Let's be proactive, not reactive in this situation. We're here to protect our children for the health and safety of their risk daily. And Mr. Cagnolati, something you said in the recreation meeting tonight, let's do this for the kids because that's what it's all about for these kids. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Lauren Adams.
Hi, my name is Lauren Adams. I've been with Jeté Dance Company for 17 years, first as a student and now as an instructor. I have been studying dance for over 20 years, and I attended master courses in New York. I'm a certified dance teacher, and our teaching staff are all trained professionals, such as myself. We receive curriculums from our director, Shannon Feet, and this is all to provide excellence and the best instruction to our students. Our School of Dance is currently home to 500 students, as mentioned before. But these girls, they are ages 2 to 18 years of age. We offer several classes throughout the week, including morning, afternoon, and evening for our recreational dancers. We have 3 ballrooms that host 3 classes upon each hour, starting at 4 until 9. And so if you think about that, as we rotate these classes, we have about 15 students in each class. So we have 50 dancers entering our studio each hour, and we may see as many as 250 students each night. Our community and competitive teams of about 70 girls have rehearsals on Friday evenings and all day on Saturday and Sunday, again as early as 8 a.m. and as late as 9 p.m. We host Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, summer dance camps during the day, weekend workshops, overnight slumber parties, birthday parties, fundraisers. So as you can see, our families, our students, and our staff are at the studio at all times, and this facility is truly a second home to our students. Jeté has always prided itself in promoting a positive atmosphere and healthy lifestyle, and as an instructor, it is our top priority that our students are safe and that they feel secure. I find that having an establishment where on-premise drinking and smoking, where you can purchase liquor, next door to our studio would adversely affect this priority. Both of our facilities would operate at the same time, exposing our students to vices and potentially threatening their safety. I personally coach our community performance team on Friday evenings, and I know that my students will pass by this establishment as they enter and exit our parking lot area. At the end of class, I am always the last to leave, first waiting for all my dancers to go home and then closing down our facility. So how can I know that there isn't someone drinking, smoking, waiting in a building that I drive past to potentially follow me, to potentially follow home one of my dancers? So how can my students and I feel safe and secure with this type of exposure? Thank you.
Mike Champlin? Champagne, sorry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here today. My wife could not be here, Lauren Champagne. We're here that in terms of speaking out about our opposition, we have a greater interest in this process than the general public because both of our children attend Jete Dance Company, which again is located at the rear of the proposed Hocus Pocus and shares the same driveway and common parking spaces. The clientele that frequents these types of establishments are not best suited to be around young female children, as many who frequent these liquor stores are often disruptive loiterers and can harm property values and neighborhood aesthetics. Rather than improving public safety, these types of stores become a magnet for crime and disorder. Liquor stores increase this density and are particularly bad since they offer the cheapest way to get drunk, thus attracting the biggest drinkers. Simply put, people purchase alcohol and consume it in this situation on premise and nearby. And they become bold enough to do things that perhaps they normally wouldn't do. This is not a good image or mix that young, impressionable female children, ranging in the age from as high as 18 to as low as 2, should have to bear witness, given that the operating hours of Hocus Pocus Liquors and Jete Dance Company are similar. In addition, I see no reason to support a liquor store that is directly across the street from Super Walmart and gas station convenience stores, many of which are located less than a half a mile away on both sides of Airline Highway. If Hocus Pocus is allowed to occupy the space and continue on as they have or are intending to do, our only choice is to remove our children from Jete Dance Company, a place where our children have attended for over 10 years, learning about dance, but so much more, such as learning to compete, understanding the value of exercise, improving self-esteem, and being around other children that are positive influences, which decreases the likelihood of a need to participate in future risky behaviors. We thank you for considering our position.
Randy Crawford?
Hello, y'all. My name is Randy Crawford. I am a lifelong resident of Ascension Parish, a proud graduate of East Ascension, and I have lived on both sides of the river. So I am a professional photographer and have been for 20 plus years, and I am an example of a business that was hurt by a non-complimentary business moving next to me. In 2008, I moved back to East Ascension and opened a photography studio next to Walmart in Prairieville, where the old Rocco's Po' Boys used to be in that strip mall. My first year was great, and business was booming. I actually met Shannon while there. Business opportunity came from everywhere, but in April or May of 2009, my landlord allowed a tattoo place to move in directly next door to me. My business focused on family and children photography, and very quickly I found out that I was in trouble because they just drew a different type of clientele. There were people loitering in the parking lot at all times, drinking and smoking. Most mornings I would have to show up to work and clean the beer cans up off of my front step. Shortly after that, I saw a drastic decline in my business. It was very difficult to concentrate on photography with the music blaring next door and all kinds of distractions. So in 2010, I chose not to renew my lease. I had to do my build out in my building, which that was an $8,000 investment for me, which I just had to abandon. And then I had worked very hard to build a presence in the community, and I suffered for many years after that, trying to figure out what my next step would be. My only point is that not all businesses complement each other. In fact, having the wrong business next door to you can have a detrimental effect on something that you worked so hard to build, especially when children are involved. Thank you.
Gus and Michelle, is it Olar?
Good evening, council members.
Okay, you're both speaking together, or you want to be separate?
Can we
Together.
Yeah, we can do together.
Okay, you still get 3 minutes now.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, my name is Gus. This is my wife, Michelle. We're the owners of Hocus Pocus Liquors. We're third-generation owners. My great-grandfather started this business in 1940. You know, a lot of the comments that I'm hearing tonight about bait and switch and children, our children, we support the arts. They're both in dance schools. One graduated from
East Ascension and
yeah. So we're very big supporters of the arts. In no way, shape, or form is our business model. I think we run an upscale wine and spirit store. We do in-store tastings once a week in our stores, and there's no smoking on premise. There's no smoking in the parking lot. There's no drinking in the parking lot. You know, we're a family-owned, run business. The business that was located before was a Dollar General that also sold liquor, wine, and beer. You know, we've remodeled this building. We put about $100,000 and totally updated the facility. When we first initially approached this project, I met with Lance Brock in zoning. We certified with our attorney that Jeté was not considered a school in ATC and alcohol laws vision. You know, they said we had every right to operate and purchase the property and, you know, operate our business and grow. So that's what we were trying to do. We have since then purchased it. We've tried to reach out to the Feets with maintenance agreements, with, you know, anything that we could help maintain the property. They've just denied it. They've been against us from day one. I understand their concerns, but the issues that they are raising are not valid issues with our establishment. I mean, we sell high-end fine wine and spirits. Many of our customers are probably their dance studios' moms and dads. So we don't sell to children. It's illegal to loiter in a liquor store parking lot. You know, I just don't see any reason that we can't coexist in this location.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the majority of our customers are the judges and APD officers. We also donate to the community. We donate to Kara's House, St. Jude for Brianna Bursajay. I've donated to St. John Catholic Church for the fair. We've donated to Galvez Middle School for their fair. I've donated to East Ascension High, where my daughter graduated from. I've also donated to Ascension Community Theater, where my daughter was in plays there. And we generate about $3,000 to $4,000 a month in parish taxes. That's it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Jack, we're gonna have Mr. come on 3 minutes. He have his personal closing comments.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, I think the bottom line is we have to look out for the safety for the children. You can't tell me, you know, every person that's gonna go to that store is going in there to buy high-end liquor and not have any other agenda on their mind. And what's gonna happen when sales don't go? Every store has to have a staple, and it's not gonna be the high-end stuff. It's gonna be the cheaper stuff that's gonna draw attention. When the Dollar General was there, they got a liquor license in 2016 by default, because we didn't even see it there. You know what a Dollar General store looks like. You can't tell what is on that front door. If we would have seen the license application on the front door, we would have stopped that one as well. So that's not even part of it. We also donate. We do the Christmas parade every year here in Ascension. We send our girls to the old folks' homes to do different types of events with them. I think it would be negligent to expose our kids to something like this when we don't have to. Let's not react to what is potential. In law enforcement, we look at things that are predictable. And if it's predictable, it's preventable. If you can see a kid getting followed home because somebody had a few to drink, or they're going out there to top off for the night because they've had a few and they ran out, they need to get some more, and they see a girl running around in tights, a 16-year-old girl or a 20-year-old teacher with spandex tights and a little crop top, and they're walking to their little car, and you have that liquid courage in you, and you don't think they're going to follow that home, or you don't think there's a potential for that, I think there's something wrong. I mean, I've been around long enough to know what to expect from these guys, and I've taken a lot of steps to prevent things from happening, whether it was on the road, or what I do at home, or what I do with the kids at the studio. I take it upon myself to teach these girls self-defense tactics, because I've been a self-defense instructor since 1993. And I put classes on for these girls so they can be safe when they're walking to their cars, how to be aware of their surroundings, and to make sure that they're not going to get attacked. We preach to put those cell phones down and look around and be aware of your parking lot. We gave our girls pepper spray, the Freeze Plus P that the PD officers carry, and we showed them how to use it. We took them outside and we sprayed that stuff to show them how to get back in their car and to be safe. We don't want to issue Freeze Plus P to all of our dancers at the studio because we have a liquor store that's trapping them in. So I hope you take a minute to look at the map and look at this unique situation. We're not asking for all liquor stores to be banned from all children activities, but take a look at this situation on how these girls are stuck in that one zone, and it gives so much potential for something bad to happen, and we don't want to be a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have all the comments on remarks, and I'm gonna open it up for comments. Doc?
Yes, sir.
Anyone? So we'll go with you, Doc. You got any comments on it?
Well, I thank everybody for coming on both sides of the fence. That's what our parish is all about. I know we're a republic, for those that want to correct me, but the democratic process. Several things struck me, and there's information that I need. I'm not sure it can be supplied tonight. I requested that legal be here because I knew I'd have legal questions, but my understanding from the chairman, and I respect that, is that this is just a discussion tonight, so more than likely this issue is going to be deferred, and hopefully by the next go-round or so, we will have legal counsel here. So my first question in around that issue is, let's see, where did I put the note? Okay. Was it Ms. Feet perhaps that said, and this is what I captured, that you have an occupational license that lists, is it pronounced Jetée, as a school? My question would be, and again, without Mr. Parrington here, Mr. Chairman, does that have any legal implications in this particular case? because we've heard on the other side that they're not a school. Now, I can read the state revised statutes, which I have, and I can also read our parish codes, some of which were placed on the screen, I believe, during Mr. Kelly Feet's presentation, and it's also in our packets. But I'm still kind of confused because I really legally, and I'm not an attorney or anything, completely understanding perhaps as I need to be about whether or not this is a school. Another question, Mr. Chairman, let's see, apologize for not being able to do this quicker. Did I hear correctly? I believe in Miss Lauren Adams' testimony, is this a school for all girls aged 2 to 18? Is that correct? And it's your testimony, ma'am, that you may have as many as 250 students of the 500 total that would come on any given day and night. 3 ballrooms, I wrote down, 50 dances per hour, some coming as early as 8 p.m., but I'm going to guess is a goodly amount, or even more, between 4 and 9 p.m. at night. Is that correct? Also read in the material in our packets that a lot of these people don't necessarily dress on site. They come in leotards, and these girls and stuff. And I don't want to over underestimate this point, but tight leotards. Okay, that's enough of that. Also, I heard, I believe in Mr. Chairman's testimony, that there's a shared, is that correct, sir? Driveway and parking, I need to get my arms around that, with the Jetay with the liquor store? A shared driveway. So do you have to go through Jetay to get to Hocus Pocus if they are approved and begin to do business there? Okay, so the shared driveway, you'd have to first go through the liquor store and then, and so forth. Also, the question I have, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Oh, I got it. So this is the airline right here?
Right. This is gonna be the liquor
Okay.
store, and this is Jetay.
Okay, so where's the shared parking? I can see the shared driveway I guess we all have the same overhead visuals. It was my understanding this was going to be shown tonight so we all could see it in public, but the public can't see this. And what the chairman's showing me shows clearly a shared driveway.
Mr. Kelly? You still have your flipper?
Yes, sir.
Can you go back to the map, the pictures you have put up there so Doc can, can he have a better picture of?
This is
right
probably
there.
the best one.
Right
Yeah,
there.
that's the one he's showing me. Thank
The
you, sir.
purple line belongs to us. That's our property. But there's a servitude that says we have to keep it open.
Could you put your finger on that, sir? I'm not
Doc,
sure the
he ain't
public
got a
will-
pointer, Doc.
Well, I mean, it's not on the overhead, it's on.
Look at right here, Doc.
I mean, I can see it. I'm concerned about the people at home.
Oh,
Can-
okay,
can
Doc.
they-
We don't have a little,
I have a little red dot.
There you go.
all right.
That doesn't show on the picture itself, though. It shows
No,
the white.
Well, I can see it. I mean, so coming right off the airline highway, you've got a kind of a bold purple line, and then it gets skinny as it goes back and shows parking lots of both
Right. So
the,
you basically,
as you call it, the liquor license applicant and Jetay.
when cars go into our property, they have to pull to the right to let cars in and out of our driveway itself.
Gotcha.
So it's a real tight funnel.
Right. Okay, I just want to be sure because of the alleged loitering, which spaces these people, and not to say that even though you go up there in the liquor store, let's say you're buying liquor and you decide to loiter in that lot, that you wouldn't necessarily use the further shared driveway to go back and loiter in the other lot.
We've had cars abandoned in our parking lot. We've had mattresses back there. We found a homeless guy between our air conditions along along the fence line. So there's been issues while the dollar store was there. And if you're familiar with that particular area of Ascension, across Old Jefferson is what they call the trailer park area.
Yes, sir.
And we had a lot of foot traffic that would come through the trailer park area, going to the Dollar General and back. And actually, one day a kid was walking with a fluorescent light tube, and I'm standing outside the building cleaning up, and he just looks right at me and slams it in the parking lot and took off running. It's, just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, thank you, sir. And then my last question, Mr. Chairman, came from, I guess, when both Gus and Michelle spoke together, and then a little bit later independently representing Hocus Pocus. I captured this. Our zoning official, Mr. Lance Brock, said that Jeté is not considered a school. Now, I fully realize that he's a expert, Mr. Chairman, on zoning and everything, but I'm again, without legal counsel and an actual legal definition of whether or not we're dealing with a school here or not, I'm not sure how much to take from that and use in whatever decision that has to be made. And that's pretty much it. I would hope and pray we have at least a second round of other questions come up. One more thing, Mr. and Mrs. Orr, it's an impressive list of your donations. Thank you for that, as well as Jeté. Thank you for the donations you do. And that may or may not necessarily mean a whole lot, but I'd have to ask this because it piqued my ears up. If you're donating to the fair at St. John's, which I just signed their liquor license, ironically, earlier this evening, for that fair they have every year, is that donation alcohol or is that cash? Okay. That's it, Mr. Chairman, and I yield.
All right. Mr. Todd?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Doc, it is open for discussion, but haven't y'all, Mr. Kelly, haven't y'all been here before for this same situation?
We've been talking to our councilman
Okay.
and
But
Mrs.
haven't y'all
Terry.
in front of the board before with the issue?
We haven't been in front of the board, but when we started
I thought I
seeing this
remember
was
y'all,
coming,
yeah.
I did email everyone
Okay.
a list of the laws and how they pertain to us to protect them.
Right.
And whether or not we're a school, which we are, the safety of the kids has to be considered. And when you look at all the case law that supports what is a school, I think it's easy to make that decision.
And like I said, like Doc said, we don't have legal here tonight. I'm sure it's going to be discussed and move forward with the right decision.
Uh-huh.
That's all I got. Doc.
That's all you got? Mr. Caglin?
Doc handled most of my
All
questions.
right.
Thank you.
Second round?
Can I have a
Oh,
chance, Doc?
I'm sorry. Absolutely. You don't even have to ask permission. It's May, by the way, if you are.
This is for the liquor store owner. If you don't mind, come to the front right quick. Have you applied for the liquor license?
We actually have our liquor license, and we have our occupational license already.
You have your liquor license
Yes, sir.
and your occupation license.
Yes, sir. No, for the airline property, the new property.
So do you have the permit for the airline property?
Yes.
Ask him how he got that.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of curious because from my knowledge, I thought you didn't have one.
No, we applied for it, and we changed of address when we had it issued. I have all the permits physically printed.
So can I ask one more
Supply
question?
to the
Sure.
committee.
Who in Ascension Parish government signed that permit?
Yes, they should.
Who's, Doc, let me.
I'm sorry. I just got it now.
Who
It's state-
signed it?
State
Who
now.
signed?
I'm not sure whose signature on it, but I mean, it's our occupancy permit, it's our liquor permit, and it's our tax certificate permit. It came from the parish office, sales tax office.
Okay, that's either the question for finance, listen to me, finance, legal. Because, and if you do have it, I definitely, if you can contact Miss Jessica here tomorrow and provide her a copy of that,
Sure.
that'd be good for our legal department to look at.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just, that was my number one question to you. Thanks for that information.
You're
All right? Okay, Doc?
Yes, thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I apologize for jumping the gun. It's date night, and my wife's already texting me and saying, when am I coming home? But that's neither here nor now. Now, as I said, usually other councilmen's excellent questions generate yet others, and that's why I like to see always at least a second round. So I want to follow up on what what our chair was asking you tonight, sir. You say you have a permit. It is extremely important to me as a committee member to see that permit and who signed it, so do not take the charge he gave you lightly. Let me say that typically, for the record, the way this is done, and I think I actually alluded to it moments ago, I signed one just this afternoon for the Padre over there that you donate the alcohol to for their fair. So I'd want to know, you said well, you didn't say it, but the other side said that their councilman, is this correct, supports?
No, now, Doc, I won't
What
say,
did he
I
say?
don't, all I know
Well, let me
is,
ask you this way. Who is your councilman, sir?
My councilman is Aaron Lawler.
Oh,
and
sir,
I
does
asked-
he support you?
Yes, he does, and as far as he knows, there was no liquor license.
If he were in this room this evening, would he say he supports you? Because he's left.
Yes. We've been talking since.
You say so. I mean,
I-
without him here, it's hearsay, but I mean.
well, Doc, we, once again, that's is for Aaron Lawrence to answer
Well,
himself.
I would want to know that by next time, and I would highly recommend you either get a signed document saying he does, or you,
Well, the
because if we
process-
find his name on this liquor permit, then I'm confused. I don't know how to make my decision. Is he
Right.
for it or is he against it?
The process is, not only does Aaron have to sign it, but so does the sheriff, and so does ATC.
Well, let me correct you on
And we have
that.
a-
The sheriff only, the ones I sign anyway,
Okay.
will look into to see if owners have felony convictions and so forth.
That's it.
And they will sign off relative to, if they don't know, for the council member of the district to make a decision. Now, another thing I'd like to see, Mr. Chair, with legal here, is that I have had a case, at least one in the 7 years I've served, that, where I wanted to reject a liquor license, and I was told, don't worry about it, the parish president and/or the council chair will sign it. So I'm curious, if it really goes to that level, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to know, is the power to sign these liquor license stop at the district chair, council level, or can council chair sign these things? You said the sheriff can, and I can tell you right now, they can or won't. And I'd really like to have the sheriff's opinion on whether or not, I mean, because he's the guy that's gonna have to, and his staff, police this if shenanigans happen or if they don't. And I'm not trying to run behind anybody's skirts, that's why they pay us up here the big bucks to make these tough decisions. But I certainly would like to know what the sheriff has to say about this. Might not be a bad idea, although not totally necessary to hear the council chair, but certainly what your councilman,
spoken to him, and-
District 7 councilman has to say.
And I also have an opposition waiting with ATC, so they can't issue anything unless we have a hearing through ATC.
Well,
And I'd also like to see this license that you said you have that was given to you saying that you're a school.
I know they keep bringing up the Dollar General thing, but that was a premises, and that's not nearly as much alcohol as.
once again,
You just give me a second to digest it, sir.
and I have to go with Doc, and, well, I have to go
yeah.
like Todd.
According to Doc, I had the same situation in my district, and as far as, yes, a councilman in that district has to sign off on the liquor license. You can't move forward without it. And it does go through the sheriff's department as far as doing all the background checks and making sure it's legit. And yes, we get that opinion from him, and then we can sign off. And I was told, like Doc also, that once all that's approved, I don't know why we actually sign it, because we're kind of like forced to sign it at that point, the liquor license.
Sir, this looks like an original,
They're
so
legal.
you don't,
Yeah, yes,
you don't want to leave it with us, but I would like to see it entered into the record. For the point of clarity in the record, this is the Parish of Ascension occupational license number 000163222. The type of license issued, it says : and it was issued on January 8th, 2019, school, quote unquote, extracurriculars, with a comma separating the same. It's effective from January 1, 2019, and will not expire until December 31st of this year, 2019.
Yes, sir. And when you look at some of the parish ordinances, I think it was 1705, that extends into extracurricular activities that says all schools are protected wherever the kids go. So that would cover when the girls come from the school to our dance studio to learn dance for their dance team. and they've done that on a regular basis.
Yeah, and again, one of the things we need resolved is our zoning official, again, hearsay, allegedly told the Hocus Pocus owners before they even began, I think was a testimony that you have nothing to worry about. You're not a school. But apparently this group here that I just read into the record.
I don't think he was aware of all those case laws that I presented
Well,
to you either.
nonetheless, Lance Brock's not here, and I can't ask him, do you believe this is not a school? And if so, why not? And even after hearing his testimony, quite frankly, sir, it's not something I could totally get my arms around as well. What I need, Mr. Chairman, is what I said from the very first remark. I need legal counsel here, which is fine. We'll eventually get him here to interpret both that 420 code that's in Ascension Parish as well as all the Louisiana revised statutes. And then, of course, you gave a whole bunch of case law. I will say this, I was particularly intrigued, I'm no attorney, with the Supreme Court decision in Michigan, which I would think has some bearing here, but maybe not, as well as the New York case that was cited by, not your wife, I guess by you. So that's it, Mr. Chairman. I really believe we need Mr. O'Neill parented before going much further in this matter.
And I will close this out in making a note that we would give this to our parish legal attorney to review it and come back at the next meeting to have some answer for both parties on where we stand. I do understand the definition of school, and I looked at some of the cases here, and all of them went to court.
And they all came out clean.
Once again, they all went out to court. So I cannot say what my legal attorney will tell us where our responsibility is between the state law and the parish law and where we are with that. So,
Councilman, not only are we a school, but when you look at the opposing, contradicting businesses that run together, I know you've been in major efforts in trying to get recreation sites developed. Would you allow a liquor store to park next to one of your places once you've done all that work and got it developed? We've been here for 17 years. The last thing we need is a liquor store with predators looking at our girls in their tights.
And I can tell you this from sitting up here it's a law issue. And when I make it my personal opinion, it's different than what the law says. And that's where I'm stuck at right now. And then I cannot make that decision based on my personal opinion to put a law in effect. So that's why I'm saying we're going to bring this to our legal attorney, and he review all this and come back to us and make some recommendation to us and tell us where we stand. And then from there, we would make a decision to move forward or not. And that's the best I can tell you this committee is to do.
Do you need a motion for that, Mr. Chairman?
No, it's just a discussion. I'm gonna put it back on the next agenda, next meeting, that this item will be on that agenda. And I know, people do not like to come back, but hey, this is the system we have right now. So let's be patient and work with it. And I'll see y'all next strategic meeting. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yep. And for that meeting, let me say this as well. We've heard tonight that Hocus Pocus, quote unquote, already has a liquor license, which was not produced, unlike your school license, call it. So again, I'm confused. If indeed that's so, why are we even here tonight to decide whether or not this business can locate next to you if they already legally have the license to sell the alcohol? I.e., be very prepared. Are you seeking it? If they do have that, I'm not saying they have it, then be very prepared, I think, next time, sir, to tell us what is the true remedy. It sounds like the remedy is contained in the title of your first slide that we saw on the overhead. That if you lose the school battle, you're looking for us to not just have in our code. I think we have. What do we have, Mr. Chairman? We have
public.
We have schools. We have. I don't know the laundry list. Not the law right in front of me.
Public.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of things that involve. I think you called them children activities or children's services or whatever. So if yours is not covered, are you seeking a change in the law?
We're
That's the
looking
question I would have, and,
At the very least, an exception for this particular situation, being that we're funneled in. If we were in a strip mall and there were 5.
But if he has permission to
places
serve
behind-
alcohol, he's not asking this body anyway to give him that permission. He either does or he doesn't. If he doesn't, then that's a whole different situation too.
That's why we need legal counsel. I already have the liquor store
Just trying to get all the parties
provide us a
prepared.
copy of that information, and we would give that to our legal attorney, Don.
I would hope my councilman wouldn't have put me through this if there is a
I-
license that he's aware of.
Well, he'd be the one to sign it, sir. I'm just-
Exactly. So
So,
And
like
he's
I
not
said,
here. He left. He did come here and it sounded, I'm gonna guess since
Doc,
he let
he
you
had to
speak
go
for him,
somewhere.
that he's in
Doc,
support.
he had to go
No, I'm
somewhere.
not criticizing that, but he
So-
let you speak in his behalf, so I think that means that he supports what it is you wanna do. He didn't let Hocus Pocus, who's also gonna try to locate in his district, speak in their behalf, did he?
correct.
All right, that's a fact.
all right. So item number,
Adjourn.
Motion
to adjourn.
Second.
I got motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.